Welcome to this week's edition of Valpo Football Preview, along with head coach Dave Cicchini. This is Todd Eichel, and we're brought to you by the South Shore Convention and Visitors Authority. Well, Coach, we've seen how far the team has come. Certainly saw it evident more on Saturday than any other time this year. I guess no more moral victories at this point.
Right.
You took on the best team in the league, perhaps, the team that's going to the NCAA tournament, and you had them down up until the final play of the game. And I know it's very, very, very disappointing. I know you're going to look at some positives, but overall, couldn't have a more heartbreaking finish.
No, without question. I'm so proud of how our players handled the adversity of the game. There was a lot of bad bounces and some questionable calls, and we fell behind. We turned the ball over twice in the third quarter, and it just looked like we were at a tipping point where they could have just given up, and San Diego could have scored 2-3 quick touchdowns, and the game would have turned into a rout. And the exact opposite happened. We played our best football right in the face of adversity. The defense stiffened up. Special teams came through. Offense had some big key drives and really put us in position, to win that game. And it's just unfortunate, what happened at the very end.
There was a key point in the third quarter where they had gone up a couple scores, and the turnovers were starting to mount. And then I think Ben Lehman made a great throw to Andrew Cassara, one of maybe his finest throws of the season in stride, and it just kind of jump-started the team. And suddenly there was that pop in the step again, and starting to feel good.
Right. Absolutely. It was great to see Ben step up and make those plays. I think he probably played his best game considering the level of competition that we were going up against. But it was nice for us to come up with big plays, because that just wasn't the only one. Ben had a big 37-yard touchdown run, and Brandon Hall had a 45-yard rush for a touchdown. And so it was a play, or it was the type of game where we needed those big plays, whereas maybe the strength of our victory against Butler the week prior was more just kind of chewing up the clock and getting 3 or 4 yards at a time in a controlled passing game. We needed the big play on Saturday, and we got it time and time again.
The last 5 minutes of the game up until the final play, that had to be really rewarding. You got stopped, quick kick, perfectly done, executed perfectly, and then the defense has to get a stop, and they got a stop against a great offense. And the offense had second and almost 20,
right?
And then you just play after play after play, execution after execution. And what was really great was you worked the clock all the way down as well. Yep. That was the plan, I'm sure. Let's just keep picking up first downs. Let's try to score as late into the game as possible.
Right. We knew that San Diego, as dangerous as they are on offense, we wanted to score. Obviously, that's goal number one, but we wanted to score with as little time possible. San Diego realized that, actually used all their timeouts once we got the ball down inside the red zone to try to stop the clock and prolong it as long as they could, and we put it in the end zone with 28 seconds or so to go in the game, and they were out of timeouts, and we just felt like this was going to be something where we were going to give them 4 or 5 snaps at the most to get the ball down into field goal range, and they were out of time. They couldn't try to go for the field goal at the end. They had one shot, and that was going for the end zone with 4 seconds left to go in the game. So they threw the Hail Mary, and they got us.
And give them credit.
Oh, absolutely. It was a
quarterback and the receiver.
Unbelievable throw, unbelievable catch. Great coverage by Devin Gatson. There's not much that he can do there, and you got to give credit to San Diego for not giving up in their situation.
Dave, look at how far the team has come from maybe the Marist game 6 weeks ago to where this team is right now. How such a turnaround in such a short period of time?
Well, I think number one, we've continued to get better in our levels of execution. Younger guys are getting more and more comfortable to the speed of the game and just continue to blossom. And I think the biggest aspect, though, is just the team believes in themselves more. They understand that when bad things happen, which they're going to happen in almost every game that you play, that somebody can step up and not hang their head and make the next play and turn things around, whether it's offense, defense, or special teams. And I really think that the level of confidence in this football team, in themselves and in their teammates, is at an all-time high here. So we understand that we're not the most talented team, but we know that if we play our style of football, our brand of football, and just compete, play a smart football game, we can hang in there with anybody in our conference.
You talked at the beginning of the year about if you watch Valpo on film from last year, there's just one or two snafus where one or two guys don't execute their assignment, and then it falls apart. And somehow you've been able to stop that kind of this year, right?
Yeah, our level of execution has gotten better each week, and we're still not perfect. We still make some mistakes, but we are doing a better job of those critical errors, really minimizing them. It's hard to eliminate them totally, but we've really done a fabulous job, particularly on the defensive side of the ball, of just keeping everything in front of us. And the big plays that other teams are getting against us are ones that, you know, it's a great throw or it's an unbelievable catch, and the coverage is there. It's not the case of somebody just running down free.
Right, Dave, how about Davidson? I obviously, off the heels of this loss, one final game to kind of propel yourself into next season, and you've got a good opportunity, Davidson, at home on Saturday.
Right, absolutely. We'd love to go out with a win, especially for our seniors, fifth-year seniors, guys that have just bought into what we've been selling and worked their tail off. It would be great to reward them, finish the season off 4-8. Davidson, it's going to be an interesting football game. A little bit of a Jekyll and Hyde type of a team. They took Dayton to 5 overtimes. They've hung in there with several teams. Against Campbell, they had the lead until late. So they've done very well against some very good football teams. And then at other times, they just have let games kind of slip away from them. So, you know, you can kind of, depending on which game of the season that you watch, you see kind of just a different team, a different mentality. So they're just lacking that consistency. They have talent. They've scored a lot of points. They're excellent, very well coached team on defense, very gap sound and are multiple and do lots of different things. So it's a dangerous football game. There's a dangerous opponent, and you know, we're going to need to have a great week of practice and put together a great game plan if we're going to have ourselves a chance to go out with a W.
Good luck on Saturday.
Thanks.
For head coach Dave Cicchini, this is Todd Eichow. Thanks for joining us this week on Valpo Football Preview, brought to you by the South Shore Convention and Visitors Authority.